Marilyn Monroe, born Norma Jeane Mortenson, June 1, 1926 to August 4, 1962, was an American actress, model and singer. Famous for playing comedic, blonde bombshell characters, she became one of the most popular sex symbols of the 1950s and early 1960s and was emblematic of the era's sexual revolution. Long after her death, Monroe remains a major icon of pop culture. In 1999, the American Film Institute ranked her 6th on their list of the greatest female screen legends from the golden age of Hollywood. Born and raised in Los Angeles, Monroe spent most of her childhood in foster homes and an orphanage. She married at age 16. After a series of minor film roles, she signed a new contract with Fox in late 1950. Over the next 2 years, she became a popular actress with roles in several comedies, including As Young as You Feel and Monkey Business, and in the dramas Clash by Night and Don't Bother to Knock. By 1953, Monroe was one of the most marketable Hollywood stars. She had leading roles in the film noir Niagara, which overtly relied on her sex appeal, and the comedies Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and How to Marry a Millionaire, which established her star image as a dumb blonde. The same year, her nude images were used as the centerfold and on the cover of the first issue of Playboy. She was briefly suspended in early 1954 for refusing a film project but returned to star in The 7-Year Itch, 1955, one of the biggest box office successes of her career. When the studio was still reluctant to change Monroe's contract, she founded her own film production company in 1954. Later that year, Fox awarded her a new contract, which gave her more control and a larger salary. Her subsequent roles included a critically acclaimed performance in Bus Stop, 1956, and her first independent production in The Prince and the Showgirl, 1957. She won a Golden Globe for Best Actress for her role in Some Like It Hot, 1959, a critical and commercial success. Monroe's troubled private life received much attention. She struggled with addiction and mood disorders. Her marriages to retired baseball star Joe DiMaggio and to playwright Arthur Miller were highly publicized, and both ended in divorce. On August 4, 1962, she died at age 36 from an overdose of barbiturates at her Los Angeles home. Her death was ruled a probable suicide. Her mother, Gladys Pearl Baker, née Monroe, was from a poor Midwestern family who had migrated to California at the turn of the century. At the age of 15, Gladys married John Newton Baker, an abusive man 9 years her senior. They had 2 children named Robert, 1917 to 1933, and Bernice, 1919 to 2014. Monroe was not told that she had a sister until she was 12, and met Bernice for the first time as an adult. Following the divorce, Gladys worked as a film negative cutter at Consolidated Film Industries. In 1924, she married Martin Edward Mortenson, but they separated only some months later and divorced in 1928. Although Gladys was mentally and financially unprepared for a child, Monroe's early childhood was stable and happy. Gladys placed her daughter with evangelical Christian foster parents Albert and Ida Bollender in the rural town of Hawthorne. She also lived there for the first 6 months, until she was forced to move back to the city due to work. She then began visiting her daughter on weekends. They shared the house with lodgers, actors George and Maud Atkinson and their daughter, Nellie. In January 1934, Gladys had a mental breakdown and was diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. After several months in a rest home, she was committed to the Metropolitan State Hospital. She spent the rest of her life in and out of hospitals and was rarely in contact with Monroe.